everybody, my name's Mike Montgomery.
And I'm Gary Montgomery.
And he's my dad. And today, we're going to show you how to raise a flagpole on modern build. First things first, you're going to need a flagpole, and the kit that I'm using is the standard 20-foot pole from standflagpole.com. I'll leave a link in the description, but they are not a sponsor. But the flagpole's great. Any good kit should have a PVC sleeve that you cement into the ground that the flagpole drops into. And it's a good idea to make sure that the end is cut square, since we're going to be using that as our reference for level later on.
And while my dad and I find the right home for this flagpole, I'd like to take a minute and give a big thanks to the sponsor of today's episode, Raid Shadow Legends.
If you've spent time on YouTube, then you've probably heard of Raid Shadow Legends. They've got a whole world of amazing looking champions, all belonging to their own unique factions. The first faction you meet is called the Banner Lords. They're basically medieval knights with a massive kingdom in the west of Teleria. They're arrogant, warlike, and believe themselves to be on the side of good. But the orcs, Organ, skinwalkers, and lizardmen would disagree. The lands of the Banner Lords were taken from the non-humans by force and kept through centuries with the help of the Sacred Order. And now with the Banner Lords weakened by wars from their king, it may be time for the non-humans to right the ancient wrong by whatever means necessary. These are just a few of the Banner Lord champions, and my favorite is the Warcaster.
And this month, Raid's got a non-stop schedule of summer events and activities. We're talking special fusion events to get a brand new legendary champion, tournaments against other players, and much more. They've also just released 5 amazing new champions, and each of them looks incredible. I can't wait to try them out. Raid's summer plans are just starting to heat up, and there are some giant updates coming very, very soon. So if you'd like to try Raid for yourself, make sure and follow the link that I left down in the description, where new players will get a welcome pack that contains 1 ancient shard, 1 energy refill, 200,000 silver, 1 XP boost, and this epic hero, Chinoru. I think that's how you say it? You'll be able to find all these rewards here in your inbox for the next 30 days. And links are down in the description. Thanks again to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring today's video. Now back to the build.
I'm going to be digging a hole that's about 12 to 16 inches in diameter and about 2.5–3 feet deep. Out here in the Joshua Tree heat, the ground was not soft, but my dad and I took turns digging this hole out, and it was no big deal. It was a ton of fun having my dad out on a project to work together, not to mention what a better time to put up a flag than on 4th of July. This is your intro, like a TV sitcom intro, like Full House. Like what John Stamos would do. Give a turn around. Hang on, but that wasn't it. Now you know what you're doing. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, action. You gotta look at the camera. That was close. I know. 3, 2, 1, action. Like I mentioned, we just kept taking turns digging until our hole was about 6 or 8 inches deeper than that PVC sleeve.
Now that's a hole.
Before cementing the sleeve into the ground, it's important to use some duct tape to plug up one of the ends. That way, it doesn't fill up with concrete when we shove it down into that hole. This clearly does not have to look pretty, but you do want to make sure that it's watertight for best results. For our project, we used 3 50-pound bags of Quikrete fast-setting concrete mix. This stuff is really great because it hardens in about 30 minutes, which makes leveling out this PVC sleeve really easy. Because we're in the desert, we went ahead and mixed our concrete a little bit wetter than you typically would in a humid area, and we poured it right into the hole. After the first bag was in, we could place the PVC sleeve down and level it out in both directions. Then I mixed up and dumped the second bag while my dad held that sleeve as level as possible. What I was looking for was a thin crepe mix, not a fluffy flapjack consistency. And just to reiterate, I cannot stress enough how important it is that this sleeve is cemented level to the earth in the ground. If you want your flagpole to sit straight, this is the most crucial step in the entire process. So take your time. The benefit of using fast-setting concrete is that by the time I mixed and poured that third bag in place, the first bag was already starting to harden. So we didn't have to worry about bracing this sleeve in place. It was level and set, and we could just leave it. So we still sitting level?
Is it hard?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
After doing a little bit of research, I found that assembling this stand flagpole kit is pretty similar across the board with every other manufacturer. You just screw your top cap together, place that on top of your pole, and you are ready to throw that puppy into the ground.
Woo!
With that, we could throw the pole into the ground, and I was really happy to see that it was perfectly level to the earth. And once we knew the flagpole was level to the earth, we could backfill a little bit of dirt, making sure that the sleeve was protruding about 3/4 of an inch above the soil. So now it's time to feed our rope through and fly our flag. And to start, we're gonna feed that rope through the pulley and do a quick double knot to make this a loop. After that, I was able to telescope my flagpole all the way up to 20 feet tall. If your flagpole is fixed, refer to the next step. Before you choose the location for your carabiners, you want to make sure that the knot we just made is at the top of the pole on the back side of the pulley. This will make sure that your flag is never able to touch the ground. After that, you'll make a bunny ear where you want your top carabiner to go and feed it right through. Then you'll feed the top side of that carabiner back through the loop you made and tighten everything down. This is a cool knot that gets tighter the more pressure that's applied. And if that was a little confusing, don't worry, I'm gonna show it again. You'll need to measure the distance between your carabiners and match the width of your flag. Mine was 36 inches. And just like before, I made a loop in my rope, sent it through the center of the carabiner, and then fed the top of the carabiner through the loop that we just made. And just like before, tighten everything down and adjust if necessary. And now finally, it was the moment we've all been waiting for. It was time to put this flag on the pole and fly it for the first time. We chose a particularly windy 4th of July to do this project on, but what better day for a quick strength test for this flagpole? Check it out.
Oh, that's awesome. Buddy, happy 4th of July. Cheers. We're going to shotgun a beer. Boom. Thanks to all the veterans out there, including my dad. Woo!
And thanks a ton for watching, and we'll see you next time on Modern Builds. Bye, everybody.
Gosh!
Check everything, okay?
Let's go. Woo! Flange.
Get it out of it, Dad. Whoop! Help!
So what should we do?
Drink a beer.
All right, Dad. Say bye to the people.